Listen, we thank God. Y'all can take your seats right where we are. We thank God on tonight. Amen. Amen. I said we thank God on tonight. Amen. Amen. The reason why I say we thank God, I know some of y'all gonna look at me funny, but the reason why I say we thank God is because, listen to this, I had to thank God this past week that he ain't killed me in my mess. Come on. Amen. Y'all quiet. See, a lot of times we like to thank God when we have the money, when we have the job, when we have the car, but sometimes you got to thank God that he allowed you to stay alive past your mess. Yeah. And so is there anybody that's grateful in the house tonight? If I don't say another word, God, I'm grateful. If you don't do another thing, God, I'm grateful. And so I want to do this. I ain't going to take up too much of your time. I want to do this. Look to somebody that's sitting next to you and say, listen. Listen. Come on, say it like you mean it. I know they breath right there. Say, listen. Listen. It's all in your head. Come on, y'all ain't say that like y'all mean it. Look at somebody else and say, listen. Listen. Before you make that mistake, before you think about giving up, before you think about giving in, I want you to realize that it's all in your head. Y'all give God a hand praise right there. And that's what I want to come and talk to y'all about. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but that's what I want to come and talk to y'all about on tonight. Is that sometimes we got to realize that before we make the mistake, it starts off in our head. Yeah. I'll prove it to you, because before you see yourself doing something wrong, or before you see yourself doing something good, first you have to vision it. Before you even got into that situation, I remember one time I was dating this lady. This is my wife now, so I'm married. I can tell the truth. Amen. Look. I can tell the truth because I'm married now. I remember there was a point in my life that I was dating these girls and I was wondering all these women doing all of these type of things. And what happened was I had seen myself doing everything I was going to do before I had made it to the motel room. Oh. Y'all cry. Y'all cry. So what are you saying? Watch this, because first we got to realize that before we make an action, first there's an effort that goes on in our mind. And so if we can ever get to the point where we realize that it's in our head, then it will stop us from doing a lot of things that we're doing. But you got to realize that first, before you do the action, it starts with your intelligence. So tonight, we're going to go to 1 Samuel 30. 1 Samuel 30. For all my people that like to read the Bible, 1 Samuel 30. I'm reading from the King James Version. I know we got different translations, but I believe this is the one that most of us have. 1 Samuel 30. Starting at verse number 1. Watch what it says. It says, and it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day. Somebody say the third day. That the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag, and the smith Ziklag and burned it with fire. Verse number 2, watch what happened to David. And they had taken captive, the women captive that were in. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. Verse 3, so David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire. And their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captive. They had lost everything that they had worked hard for. Watch what it says. Verse number 4. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. Have you ever cried so much where you had to stop crying? Yeah. Like, I know we mean and we try to act tough sometimes, but sometimes you land yourself in some situations where you can't do nothing but cry. Y'all ain't gonna be real. And David, verse number 5, and David's wife was taken captives, the Jezreelite, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his son and for his daughter. But David encouraged himself in the Lord. I'm going to say that again. But David encouraged himself in the Lord. You got to learn that even when people ain't encouraging you, you got to learn how to encourage yourself. You got to learn how to support yourself, even when the friends give up on you, even when family members ain't picking you up. I got some real people that always say I'm encouraged myself. Watch what it says. Watch what it says. Verse number 7. And David said to Abiathar, the priest, Amalekite's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, there, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to realize this on tonight. I'm going to talk to y'all for a few minutes, that it is all in your head. Now watch what happens. I don't have too much time. Watch what happens. Y'all know who David is. David was a king. David was a man after God's own heart. David was one of the most anointed people in the Bible. But just like some of us, David had some issues. Yeah, man. And if many of us be completely transparent and be completely honest, the reason why we're caught up in some situation is because we've had some issues. But how many of us realize that even though we got some issues, that don't disqualify God from using us? Yeah. Because the truth be told, if God didn't disqualify me, I wouldn't be standing here today. But you got to realize that just because you got some issues, don't mean that your issues is greater than the gift that God has given you. Hallelujah. If you got a gift to speak to people, if you got a gift to sing, even if you got a gift just to be friendly and funny with folks, whatever your gift is, you got to learn how to use your gift for good. Because what happens is the enemy tries to tell us that after we've made a mistake, or people try to tell us that after we've made a mistake, or after we've done wrong, we'll never recover from it. But I want to drop this in your spirit on tonight, that if you wouldn't recover from it, you wouldn't still be alive. And so since you're alive, that means you can recover from some of the stuff that you did. And I told you that it's all in your head. And so understand this, because this is what happens. So now David, he's going out to fight, he's going out to battle, and they won the battle. And if it translates to today's world, y'all know how after we do, some of y'all play sports in here. I got any people that play sports in here? Basketball, football, baseball, whatever your sport was. And you know how you felt like after you won a big game? You know, after you play in the game and you win and everybody's supposed to be celebrating and everything's supposed to be going good. But what happened with David, he didn't even have time to celebrate, because as soon as he got back home, the enemy was at his front door. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where it seemed like everything was going good, then out of nowhere something bad just happened? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you should be celebrating, but you're too busy and sad in your sorrow because of something that happened in your life? And so now this is what happens with David. So David gets home and his whole house is burned up. His children are gone. They took all his money, took all his land. And at this particular time, David only got one thing to do. He got a decision to make. Either he can go forward and get everything that God has for him back, or he can just sit in his mess and be sad. And that's what many of us are on tonight. I find it funny, because if we be completely honest, that some of us are at the midway point of life. Where we can continue to go forward to the finish line, or we can continue to go backwards. But I want to tell you this, whether you go forward or backwards, you're going to travel the same distance, so you might as well go forward. Hallelujah! Look at somebody and say, I'm halfway up. Don't say it like you mean it, I'm halfway up. I'm not going to go backwards because I'm halfway up. I'm going to continue to go forward because I'm halfway up. And so here it is now, David has to make a decision. So he's at the turning point of his life. Somebody shout turning point. Turning point. He's at the turning point of his life. He's lost everything. He don't have no money. And then not only that, the people that were supporting him, the people that were supposed to be his friends, now they turn their back on him. There's somebody's testimony in here besides mine. Right? What happened was I got into a situation after high school that could have landed me some time in jail. They could have landed me literally in a whole bunch of legal trouble, but I thank God I had a praying grandmother. Hallelujah. I thank God I had a praying mom. But what happened was